Hello everybody, in this lesson we're going to be taking a look at operators. Now, operators in R are just symbols or keywords that perform operations on variables or values if you haven't already put those values into a variable. Now we're going to take a look at several different types of operators, but if you've been following along in this series, we've already used an operator before. It was something called an assignment operator. So if we have our variable and we go like this is an assignment operator. These are characters that say when we put a 42 over here, this 42 is going to stay within this variable. So this already is something that we know. So that is an assignment operator. Now the next one that we're going to take a look at is an arithmetic. Can I spell this right? Operator. There are other ones as well, like comparison operators and logical operators, and we'll get to those in just a little bit. But let's start out with looking at arithmetic operators. These are operators that are specifically built and designed for math. And so let's declare two different variables just to start, and then we'll take a look at these arithmetic operators. Let's just do the classic x and y. We'll say x is 10, and we'll say y is 3. Now, let's go ahead and declare those. We're going to see in our environment right over here, we have our x and our y. Within these variables, we have the very basic ones. We're going to take our variables, we're going to say x plus y. And this is going to be, of course, 13. Now, what we can do, by the way, is we can assign this to another variable. So if we wanted to, we could say a is going to be assigned x plus y. And if we run that, x plus y is 13, so a becomes 13. Now, we don't have to do that every time we do any type of operator or mathematical equation, but if we want to store that value, we can. And this may not look like it makes sense, but it does make sense because we've stored these values, we're adding them together, and then we are assigning them. So that is just simple x plus y, but we can also do x minus y. This is just subtraction. And we're going to get 7. So that's 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. We also have multiplication, which if we do x times 10, and that's the little star right here. So that is, on my keyboard, the shift 8. If we do x, and sorry, it's supposed to be x times y, we're going to get 30. And so we're just multiplying them together. We have one more of the basic ones, and then we'll start going to kind of the more complicated ones, but that's division. So we're going to say x, and then we're going to do a / y. And this is going to be x divided by y, and that's 3.3333 because it's 3 into 10. Now, the next one that we're going to look at is a little bit more challenging. This is an exponent or to the power of. So it would be x, and we're going to do this little caret here. And that's what it's called. It's called a caret. X to the power of y. So we're going to do 10 to the power of 3. So it'd be 10 times 10 times 10. And so when we do that, we're going to get 1,000. So that one's really good. I'm sure you've seen that if you've taken algebra or other types of maths. You're going to recognize that pretty quickly. But this next one is most likely one that you haven't seen. This is called a modulo. And what it does is it takes the remainder of a division. So if we do x, and we're going to do 2 percent signs of y, if we run this, we're going to do 10 divided by 3, which means 3 can go into 10, but we have a remainder of 1. And so that's what a modulo is used for. Now, I will say you're going to use these a lot. They're fairly straightforward. They're not crazy confusing. This is kind of foundational math that most people should know. If you haven't, just mess around with those. Those are really good to know. Now, I'm not going to dive into it a lot, but have you ever heard of PEMDOSS? This is the order of operations within math. This is something you need to be aware of because if you do something like, and I'm just going to use numbers, I'm going to do 5 times 10. If we do it just like this and we run it, of course, that's going to be 50. But then let's do divided by 2 and let's run this. Now, of course, that's going to be 25. But if I add plus 6 here and we run this, this is where it starts getting a little complicated, right? What's happening where? And what's going to happen if I add a parentheses around all of this? So this is where PEMDOSS comes into play. PEMDOSS stands for parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So if we are looking at this, we have to start with the P, the parentheses. So we're going to do everything in this parentheses first before we do anything outside of the parentheses, which is multiplying times 5. We would also do the exponent, which you don't have, multiplication, which is not in the parentheses, and then division. So we would divide 10 by 2, which is 5. Then we would add 6, which is 11, times 5 is 55. Let's make sure that's correct. And there we go. If we did it in a different way, if we put the parentheses over here, and let's get rid of this real quick. If we put the parentheses over here, now we're going to multiply times 50, then divide by 2 and add 6. And that's going to be 31 because we're going to get 25 right here and then add 6 to it. And so these parentheses are very important, and you will see these in different types of equations and different types of math that you'll work with within R, as it is very statistics heavy. So this is just kind of foundational arithmetic and math that you need to know in order to work with these types of programming languages. The next one that we're going to take a look at, and let's give us some more room right here, and these are going to be comparison operators. Comparison operators allow you to evaluate different conditions. So let's take a look at one. So we have x and y here. We created those earlier. So we're going to say x is greater than y. Now, when we run this, we're going to get a different output. We're no longer going to get a string or a number. Now we're getting what's called a Boolean value. Now, this Boolean is either true or it is false. So now if we say x is less than y, and we run this, and I did an uppercase, whoops, let's go ahead and run this. Now we're going to get a false. So depending on whether it is a true condition, it evaluates to true, or it evaluates to false, that's what our output is going to be. Now we can also add into these ones an equal than, or an equal as well. So I would say x is less than or equal to y. And if we run it, it's still going to be false. But you can add that in if you want these to potentially be equal, or you want to check for that. The other ones that you really need to know are x is equal to y. Now, this is wrong because this is actually an assignment operator, just like, let's go back up, this is in certain conditions within R. We need to say equal equal. This is actually what you need to write. And so it may seem a little counterintuitive, but that is the syntax that you need to use. Now, x is not equal to y. One is 10, one is 3. So of course that's going to be false. But if we said x is equal to x, then this will evaluate to true. The last one that you need to know, and this is the opposite of equal to, is not equal to. So if we say x is not equal to y, that's an exclamation point with an equal sign. If we say x is not equal to y, we're checking, are they not equal? And that is true, they're not equal. And so these are comparison operators that are very commonly used. You'll use these so often, they'll just become second nature. And the last one that we're going to take a look at is logical operators. Now, logical operators, aside from, the basics, logical operators are used all the time for everything. They are here to help determine and evaluate expressions to determine if they are true or if they are false, or if multiple conditions are true or false. So right up here, let's get this x is greater than y. We know that that is true, right? We know this is true. But what if I want that to be true, and this is where the logical operator comes in. So we want x and y, that evaluates to true, but we also want x to be equal to x. So we're going to put this right here. So now we're evaluating two separate conditions. And this one right here, this ampersand, I believe is what it's called, which is a shift, 7 on my keyboard. This ampersand means that both this and this condition need to be met in order for it to evaluate to true. Let's go ahead and run this. So since both of these conditions is true, this is x is greater than y and x is equal to x, this evaluates to true. But let's change this. We're going to change it to y. We know this is false. So this is true, but this is false. So are they both true? So it needs this and this need to be true. Since one of them is false, we will get an output of false. And so this is what a logical operator is. Now, we're going to take this exact same thing, and we're going to bring it down here, and we're going to change this into a bar, and I call it a bar, but it's a shift and it's right above my enter key on my keyboard, right next to the backslash. But this right here means or. So this is and this is or. These are the ones you are going to use 99% of the time. So you're going to say, is this condition true? Or is this condition true? If either one of these conditions are true, it will be true down here. They don't both have to be true. So now if we run this, we're going to get true. X is greater than Y. This evaluates to true, or this, which evaluates to false. Since just one of them is true, then the entire expression evaluates to true. There is technically one more logical operator, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think I ever use this one, or if I do, it's a very specific use cases. This is the not operator. This is going to say this, so let's run this. This is false, but we're going to run this with the not operator. And it's going to change it to true. So it basically reverses the Boolean value that is in the output. If it's true, it changes it to false. If it's false, it changes it to true. It just flips the value. That's all this operator does. I think I've used this a few times in very specific use cases, but 99.9% of the time, I'm using the and the or logical operators. Those are the ones that are the most common to use. So this is the basics of using operators. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to start working with our data set, how we can pull it in, how we can put it into a data frame, how we can write files and create files as well. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my full R for data analytics course on Analyst Builder. I'll leave a link in the description and a coupon code if you would like to take that course. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.